Well, what's going on again, YouTube world? I am back. I've got a new project I'm working on. Well, I wouldn't say working on because I literally just got it. And I'm getting over having a cold too, by the way. But check out this cool bike. Trail bike, motorbike, dirt bike. I don't even know. I don't even know what this thing is. But check out this little beast. I do believe it's quite old. It needs a lot of work. A lot of work. Like, yeah, the handlebar is bent. So I think I'm going to try to bend that up a little bit and have some gussets or something welded in there on both sides to strengthen that up a little bit. And the reason I say I believe it's actually quite old, for one, I mean, the seat, I mean, they just don't put shitty ass looking seats like that on these little trail bikes anymore. And the fact that this particular tire and that particular tread pattern like that is quite an old tread design. So, and it looks to me like the tread is wore off pretty good on the back compared to the front, which makes me believe this little sucker used to get it pretty good. As far as the Honda stickers, I do not know, because I mean, for Honda people, we've all had that sticker pack that has those decals in it. So I'm not sure if this is a Honda or not. I really don't know what it is. So here's my challenge for you. If you're seeing this video and you know what this thing is, drop a comment below and let me know what this thing is. If you know what the make is, the model, if you know a website that features these, or somebody else that has one that could tell me about it or something, just any kind of info you can give me on this particular trail bike would be awesome. But let me give you a closer look. The tank, I would think, looks better turned around, where the flat side's at the front. That's the way I thought it would mount up. But the holes, I found a couple of pieces of all thread and a couple nuts, and that's actually how the goofy thing mounted. So you can see it's you know, the shape of it or whatever. I thought it would look better turned around the other way, but that's just me. Let's see, a couple other features of this thing that may kind of make it unique or easier to figure out. It does not have a front brake. There is no front brake on this thing at all. It only has the rear brake. So I've seen some of these trail bikes online that have similar shocks, all four of them, but they'll have a front brake and they don't have the outer spring. That's all inner spring shocks, except for the two on the back. Another thing, single down bar, single top bar, you know, to the back, that's two. You know, it's just a regular old flat pad here for the motor to mount on. You know, it's typical, you know, trail bike style front end, really. Nothing really special about that. Let's see. Nothing really too exciting or special about the back of it either. I will have to turn this thing around to get a better view of the other side. So I'm not too sure. I mean, obviously this, you know, this will spin backwards a little bit. So I'm not too sure if there's supposed to be a cover or something over this. The engine is actually not locked up or anything. It don't have a spark plug in it, by the way. Do not know what size the engine is or anything about it, because like the bike itself, everything is spray painted. And the plate over here, the paint is so thick you can't really scrape it off to find out anything. I do not have the motor bolted on, so I'm just going to take the motor off of it. And you can see, I mean, it's, you know, it's just a tiny little, I don't know what it is, but it's a tiny little, probably, you know, 2 or 3 horsepower something, if I had to guess. So you can see it's just a regular old metal pad down there to mount that on. Alright, let's do this. Let's move it over. That's obviously a foot peg, but it works really well as a kickstand for right now. So it has basically, you know, one shaft on the pulley wheel for the belt, you know, to a small gear to a chain. So really a simple setup, and you know, and of course it had a twist throttle on it, but I'm going to, I want to say maybe a thumb throttle, simply because I think those are easier to find, and I could probably get a hold of that a lot easier and faster than a twist throttle, and I can get some grips for bicycle handlebars and put the grips on there and be good to go as cheap as possible. As far as the seat, yeah, it's ugly. It looks really dirty. I have cleaned it 3 times myself. It was cleaned before it was even brought to me, and yeah, that's what it looks like. So some vinyl and fabric paint, I'm gonna tackle that, at least try to clean that up a little bit. So what does this thing need? Yes indeed, I got a Harbor Freight special 3 horsepower 79cc Hemi. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing 10 mile an hour faster up the road now, boy, let me tell you. Yeah! Alright, well, got it unboxed. I saved you the boring unboxing part. Right. You can see this is a tiny little engine. Just a little 79cc. Oh look, no E85. Well, looks like we can't run it on corn syrup. Let's see here. Yeah, it's just a little tiny engine, but I picked this particular one because it is closer to the size of that, so I figured it would work best, and it measures everything within spec of the space that I have on there. So they had another one that was like 6.5 horsepower, but there's a lot of modification, and the throttle was way different than on this one. So there was a whole lot of modification to make it 3 horsepower more. So I figured, you know what, this looks like it's going to be the simplest thing to do. So that's why I got this one. And the cool thing is, it does come with this mounting plate. Now you can mount directly to, you know, the bottom of that if you want, and it even comes with the mounting bolts. But this right here, these holes on this thing line up perfectly. The holes that's already on this bike line up perfectly. So I'm going to take that wheel off and see if I can get it to mount to that engine. Hopefully it does, and hopefully that, I want to say that's kind of like a centrifugal belt thing. I don't know what they're called. Maybe a centrifugal clutch or something like that. I know a lot of other go-karts and, you know, other bikes and things like that work that way. You know, at idle and all that, it disengages and it doesn't pull it doesn't, you know, crimp on the belt. And then once you hit the throttle, it crimps on the belt, and then, you know, obviously you're going. So I went ahead and put that little mounting plate on the bottom. And figured out what kind of test fit it on there. And of course, you know, there's a lot of modifications that has to be done here anyways, so that's okay. As you can see, you know, it fits in there pretty good. Definitely wouldn't have been room for the 6.5 horsepower. But alright, so here's First issue. That thing I was afraid of was the muffler. Obviously, this is the exhaust coming out right here. Obviously, you can't have that. I mean, gonna be like roasting nuts going down the road. Or rock and roll Jedd. Whoever's gonna be riding this thing is gonna have like roasted nuts going down the road. I have a friend that builds motorcycles and works on motorcycles and is a whiz with small engines, and he does a lot of welding and fabrication work. Dude's name is Dave at In the Holler Cycles. I did check out his shop when he first moved into his new shop here locally. And that video is actually on my channel. You should totally check it out. It's In the Holler Cycles. And you can find them on Facebook too. And check out some of his work. Like, he's a mad scientist, I will tell you that. But I'm thinking a hook up with him, and we could probably do something with this. So that's the plan with this beast. Obviously, this is going to be a multi-video thing here on the channel. So, yeah. So that's pretty much what's going on with that. But I'm at a stopping point for right now until I can get those parts. And then we'll go from there. So stay tuned for the channel. We will do updates, or an update video on this little project. And then of course we'll get the brake cable, brake lever. I'm gonna get me a throttle set up, and we'll go from there, and hopefully go for a pretty cool ride eventually. Yeah. So until next time, see you guys in the next video.